My father was never a man who spoke much. He wasn't distant. He wasn't cold. He simply believed that words should be used sparingly. He didn't talk about emotion. He didn't give advice unless he felt it was necessary. And he never asked for attention.
And then he said,
If he needed something, he usually found a way to manage it himself. That was the kind of man he was. So when he asked me to sit with him that afternoon, it didn't register as anything important. It felt casual, almost accidental. It was the middle of a weekday. I remember that clearly. I was busy in the way people always are when they believe their time is more valuable than the moment they are in. My mind was already ahead of my body, moving through unfinished tasks, unread emails, obligations waiting just beyond the door. I was present physically, but mentally, I was already leaving. My father was sitting in his usual chair by the window. The light coming through the glass was soft, muted by age and dust, the way it always was in that room. He wasn't really watching anything outside, just staring quietly, as if his thoughts were somewhere far beyond the street. When I walked past him, he said my name. Not loudly, not urgently, just enough to make me stop. "Sit with me for a bit," he said. I hesitated. Not because I didn't want to, but because I was already measuring the cost of staying. I glanced at the time. There were things waiting for me. Things I had convinced myself couldn't be
Charles,
delayed.
wait a moment.
I told him I couldn't stay long. I said it casually, as if it didn't matter. He nodded, slowly, as though he had already expected that answer. Still, I sat down. For a while, neither of us spoke. We just sat there side by side. The room was quiet in a way that didn't feel awkward. It was the kind of silence that settles naturally between people who have known each other for a long time. The kind of silence you don't feel the need to fill. And yet there was something heavy about it, something I didn't recognize at the time. Eventually, my father began to talk, not about anything important. He mentioned a neighbor who had moved away years ago, someone I barely remembered. He talked about a job he once had when he was younger, a job I had heard him mention before, in pieces, scattered across different conversations over the years. There was no urgency in his voice, no dramatic buildup, just simple recollections, spoken slowly, carefully. I listened, or at least I thought I did.
And then your
I
grandfather
responded when it
realized the
seemed
dog had eaten
appropriate,
the entire turkey
nodded
right off
when
the
I felt
table.
that was expected.
He chased that
But my
beagle halfway
attention
down the
drifted
county
in
line.
and out. Part of me was already preparing to stand up, already rehearsing the polite excuse I would use to leave. I told myself I had already done enough just by sitting down. At one point, he stopped talking. The silence returned. He turned his head slightly
Time moves
toward me,
differently
not
when you're
fully
older.
facing me.
You start to see the patterns.
I don't remember things the way I
connect.
used to, he
It
said
makes
quietly.
you realize what's important.
There was no fear in his
You know,
voice.
it's important to be present in
drama.
the moment.
Just a
These
simple
times
statement.
won't come again.
I smiled and brushed it
I
off.
just want you to see the value.
I told
in
him
that.
everyone forgets things sometimes, that it was nothing to worry about, that it happened to everyone as they got older. He smiled too, but his eyes didn't change. Then he said something that should have made me pause, something that should have made me stay. "I've been thinking about when you were young," he said. "There are things I wish I had done differently." The words landed softly. Not
Son,
heavy enough to alarm me.
There are moments
Not
in life
sharp
when you
enough
have
to demand
choose your
my
own
attention.
path. This
I
is
felt
one of them.
uncomfortable, though I didn't fully
It doesn't
understand
matter how
why.
long it takes.
Not because he was
As long as
saying
you don't
anything
stop
wrong,
trying.
but because the moment suddenly felt more serious than the time I
I
believed
just worry
had.
about your future, son.
I didn't want to open a door I
path
didn't
you've
feel
chosen
ready to
seems
walk
uncertain.
through.
It'll
So
be
I
fine,
closed
Dad.
it.
Don't worry so
I told
much.
him we could talk about it
was
another
incredible,
day.
Dad.
A better day. A day when there was
Really
more
think
time.
This new job is going to
He
change
nodded.
everything for us.
He didn't argue, didn't insist. He didn't try to continue the conversation. He just accepted it. And that acceptance should have frightened me. But it didn't. We sat there quietly again. After a while, I stood up. I told him I had to go. He looked at me, nodded once more. "All right," he said. "Go take care of your work." There was no disappointment in his voice, At least
There
none
comes
that
a
I was
point
willing
when
to
you have
hear.
to decide
I
who
left
you
that
really
day
are,
believing I had done enough.
not who you
I had
pretend to be
stopped.
for everyone
I had
else.
sat down. I had listened. I
Back
told
then, you
myself
didn't
that
have
was
all
what
these
mattered.
choices.
I didn't realize how little it
But I
actually
suppose you have to
was.
find your own way in this
A
world.
few weeks later, my father was admitted to the hospital. It wasn't sudden. There were no sirens, no emergency rush. His body simply began to weaken faster than anyone expected. Even then, I believed there would be time. More conversations, more afternoons, another chance to sit by the window. The last time I saw him, he was quiet, quieter than usual. He held my hand. His grip was weak, almost hesitant. "Are you doing okay?" he asked. I told him I was fine. I told him not to worry about me. I don't remember if I said anything else, but I remember the feeling when I let go of his hand. After that, he was gone. Not abruptly, but without giving me the chance to prepare. Grief doesn't arrive all at once. Sometimes it moves slowly, circling back to moments you thought were insignificant. One day, long after the funeral, I remembered that afternoon. The chair by the window, the quiet room, the sentence I had gently pushed aside. "There are things I wish I had done differently." Only then did I understand. He wasn't reminiscing for the sake of memory. He wasn't talking just to pass time. He was reaching backward and forward at the same time, trying to make sense of his past, trying to connect one last
you
time
doing okay?
in the present. He didn't ask for
Right,
forgiveness. He didn't ask for reassurance. He just wanted to sit, to speak, to know I was there. We often believe that people will be clear when they need something from us, that they will ask directly, that they will insist. But many people don't. They wait instead, quietly, patiently, until waiting becomes too heavy to continue. If someone you love asks you to stay for a moment, be careful, because sometimes it isn't just a conversation. It's the last moment they are willing to wait for you.